The trumpet, also known as the shofar, was one of the more important instruments in Israel. So much, in fact, we have a memorial and a feast day specifically dedicated to the uses of it. So what makes this instrument so special? Today we're going to find out. Brother Darash back again with another episode of Stick to the Script, and today we'll be going over the feast day memorial of blowing of trumpets. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 24. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the 1st day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and a holy convocation. So here we see that the Lord gave us a feast day, the memorial of blowing of trumpets. So it's a memorial to commemorate the blowing of the trumpets. But now the question is, what was the purpose of us blowing the trumpet? What was the uses that we had when we were doing so? Well, let's go into the scripts and find out. Numbers chapter 10 and verse 10. Also in the day of your gladness and in your solemn days and in the beginnings of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Lord your God. So let's see an example of when we actually used it in our time of gladness. 2 Samuel chapter 6 and verse 14. And David danced before the Lord with all his might, and David was girded with the linen ephod. So David and all the house of Israel brought up the ark of the Lord with shouting and with the sound of the trumpet. So here we see we had just brought the ark into the city of David, which is in Jerusalem. And in bringing the ark back, they had a huge celebration out in the city. And David was out there dancing. All the people were out there dancing and having a great time. And it said they were blowing the trumpet and making music. It was during their time of gladness. So it shows here that during the time of our gladness that we would have a great time and play music. And one of the things we would utilize was the trumpet, was the shofar. Specifically in this particular regard, it's referring to when we received the ark and brought it back to the land of David in Jerusalem. Now let's see another use for the shofar. Joshua chapter 6 and verse 2. And the Lord said unto Joshua, see, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horn. And the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times, and the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up, every man straight before him. Verse 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day, and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time that the priests blew with the trumpets. Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Lord hath given you the city. Verse 20. So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him. And they took the city. Judges chapter 7 and verse 17. And he said unto them, look on me, and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that, as I do, so shall ye do. When I blow with the trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow ye the trumpet also on every side of all the camp, and say, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. So Gideon and the 100 men that were with him came unto the outside of the camp in the beginning of the middle watch. And they had but newly set the watch, and they blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers that were in their hands. And the 3 companies blew the trumpets and brake the pitchers, and held the lamps in their left hands, and the trumpets in their right hands, to blow withal. And they cried, the sword of the Lord and of Gideon. And they stood every man in his place round about the camp. And all the host ran and cried and fled. And the 300 blew the trumpets, and the Lord set every man's sword against his fellow, even throughout all the hosts. And the host fled to Bethshittah in Zerah, and to the border of Abel Maholah unto Tabbath. And the men of Israel gathered themselves together out of Naphtali, and out of Asher, and out of Manasseh, and pursued after the Midianites. And Gideon sent messengers throughout all the mount of Ephraim, saying, Come down against the Midianites, and take before them the waters unto Bethbara and Jordan. Then all the men of Ephraim gathered themselves together, and took the water unto Bethbara and Jordan. And they took the two princes of the Midianites, Oreb and Zeb, and they slew Oreb upon the rock of Oreb, and Zeb slew at the winepress of Zeb, and pursued Midian, and brought the heads of Oreb and Zeb to Gideon on the other side Jordan. So now we see, even in a time of war, that we were using the trumpets. It was used prior to the war cry. It was used to initiate battles. So from our gladness to even more grave and serious moments, when it was time to go to war, we utilized this trumpet. So let's see what else we use the trumpet for. Numbers chapter 10 and verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver. Of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly, and for the journeying of the camps. And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow but with 1 trumpet, then the princes which are heads of the thousands of Israel shall gather themselves unto thee. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When ye blow an alarm the 2nd time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations. So now we see here that we even use the trumpets to assemble the nation of Israel. So as we can see, the trumpet played a very significant role in our history. And that's why we even have a memorial or a feast day named after it. We utilized it in war. We utilized it during feast days and times of gladness when we played music. We utilized it as an alarm for the people. We utilized it to gather Israel all together. And we can see a number of examples as we read through the scriptures. There's too many to count how many times we use the trumpets and for what reasons. So as you continue to read through the history of the scriptures, pay attention to the times that they use the trumpet and the reasons that they use the trumpet, because it's a very significant instrument in the history of Israel. This is Brother Darash, and this has been another episode of Stick to the Scripts. Shalom.